Today I am going to do an overview of the ordinary products that I currently have in my collection right now. As you guys know, I've been a huge fan of The Ordinary for a while now, and it's probably been about a year since I started using their products, and I just found a lot of products that work really well with my skin, and I have fully embraced them and integrated them into my skincare routine. I get a lot of questions about what products I like and what products I would recommend. I know I have been promising this video for a while now, so I'm finally doing it, but I wanted to get this video up because I follow DCM, which is The Ordinary's parent company, on Instagram, and they hinted to a Black Friday sale, which is obviously coming up soon. So I wanted to get this video up so that if you see something that you want to try out, you could maybe score it at a bit of a deal on Black Friday. So I wanted to put this disclaimer out there before I start, and that is, this is obviously not a sponsored video, and all of the products that I've shown you I have not gotten for free or was not sent to me. I paid for everything with my own money. For some reason, I decided to keep all of the boxes for all of the products that I purchased from the brand. I don't quite know why. I think my ideology was that I would show you guys the box and kind of read the little blurb on it, but honestly I can't be bothered with going through this, so I'm just gonna recycle it. But as I look at this, I see that I have spent quite a few dollars on The Ordinary products, or at DCM in general. And one of the #1 questions that I get usually on Instagram is, you know, if I'm sponsored or if I've gotten products for PR samples, and I wish I was, and I wish I did, but I'm not, and I haven't. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. I also apologize if there's a bit of an echo because we are currently in the bathroom. If you guys follow my vlog, I just recently renovated this bathroom and I'm obsessed with it. I just love to spend my time in here. And this is also where I keep all my skincare. So I keep it in my medicine cabinet in the bathroom. So I thought I would just do the video in here. And that way I don't risk losing any of these bottles during transportation, because again, I kept quite a few here. Okay, I'm gonna start with the products that I like and that I've repurchased, and then we'll move towards the products that I maybe didn't like or probably wouldn't repurchase again. So let's start with the niacinamide. So this is the niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1%, and this is probably my favorite Ordinary products that I've ever purchased. This is probably my third bottle of this. Dramatically speaking, this is a product that I can't live without. I have to have it in my skincare routine. It has done wonders for my skin. I've tried a few niacinamide products in the past. I purchased one from Sephora. I can't remember which brand it was. I feel like it was maybe Murad. I might be making that up. Or maybe Skin Ink. I also might be making that up. Anyway, when I first tried niacinamide, I didn't really notice a difference in my skin. I think it's because there were so many other ingredients in that serum that, I don't know, it was more irritating my skin than not. So I was really hesitant to try this one out, but I'm so glad I introduced it back into my skincare routine because it has done wonders for my skin. This really helps reduce the appearance of blemishes on my skin and really helps with congestion. And I do have combination skin, and I find that this really helps balance the like oiliness of my skin or the sebum activity. I still have combination skin, but I just find that I break out less using this. My skin looks a lot more, I guess, smooth and even when I use this, and I can totally tell a difference when I haven't used this in my skincare routine because my skin just goes kind of whack. This guy is only $6, and honestly, this, if you have to like pick one product, if you have combination or acne prone skin, you definitely have to go for the niacinamide. It will honestly change your skin. I'm not a huge toner person, but I cannot say enough good things about the Glycolic toning solution. It is an AHA, it's a really gentle exfoliant. I just put it on a cotton pad and I use it to like swipe all over my face before I go with my essences and my hyaluronic acid and all my serums. And I only use it at night, and it just really, again, helps with the texture of my skin. I love using it. I feel like it really does help with the congestion on my skin. It is quite gentle. I have used glycolic acids at actually a lower percentage than this, but it actually irritated my skin more. I think the reason this isn't irritating on my skin is because it's jam-packed full of other ingredients. So for an Ordinary brand, it actually is quite complex in a sense. Like, it has aloe and Tasmanian pepperberry to help with the irritation. So I don't find that it irritates my skin at all. I really like it, and again, it's really gentle and it's nice exfoliation. The Buffet is one of, I guess, The Ordinary's more expensive products. I think it ranges at about $15, and this is probably one of the most complex products that they probably carry. So it's a multi-technology peptide serum, meaning it just has a bunch of different technologies mushed into one serum. So it's great for anti-aging. To be honest, I haven't really noticed anything in that department. I'm in my late 20s, so I probably won't notice if it's working until later on, but I can say this is a really great serum. I use it at night. It absorbs quickly into the skin. It's quite hydrating, and my skin does look fairly plump like the morning after using this. But as a general serum to use at night, I love this, and I have repurchased it a couple of times already. Probably one of the more popular products from The Ordinary is probably the retinoids. I think it's because they're no fuss retinoid products, and they also don't gouge you in the eye with their prices. I think the most expensive one is probably like $14, and the least expensive is probably $7. So, you know, you can get a really nice retinol product for an inexpensive price. So they have two ranges. So one is their advanced retinoid, and then the other one is their retinol. Of course, retinol is your traditional retinol product. It's a little bit more irritating on the skin, so if you have sensitive skin, you may be prone to peeling or redness or just irritation in general. And then their advanced retinoid products, which I think they have renamed to something like Granactive, Retinoid, something, is a little bit more of a fancier retinol. It's a more advanced form than the traditional retinol, and the benefits of using that version is that it's much gentler on the skin. So you are supposed to get the same results, but without the peeling and the irritation and all that stuff. So I have tried two retinoid products from The Ordinary. So one is the Advanced Retinoid 2%, which they have since renamed to something like Granactive Retinoid 2% Emulsion. It's the same product, just rebranded. I think they did that with their entire retinol line. So again, this is like that next generation form of retinoid. So this is a similar retinoid that is in the Sunday Riley Luna oil. This comes in a really nice emulsion, so it's really gentle on the skin. It absorbs quickly. The other retinol product I have is one of their new ones. It's the Retinol 1% in Squalane oil, and I really love it. It's 1% pure retinol suspended in squalane oil, which is a really great humectant. So it kind of cuts the irritation a little bit. They come in different grades, so I believe they have 0.2%, a 0.5%, and then a full percent. I went with a full percent because I have been using retinol products for a really long time. When I first started using retinols, I did go with a lower grade, but in the last probably 4 or 5 years, I've always been using like the full 1%, so that's why I went with this one. I do find this to be a little bit irritating on the skin, even my skin, and like I said, I'm very used to retinol products, so I don't use it every single day. I haven't experienced any peeling or redness, but I do notice that my skin after continuous use, so after consecutive use, so let's say after 3 or 4 days of using it every single night, that 5th day, my skin will just feel a little bit sensitive. It usually goes away if I stop using this for a couple of days, but I do notice that it's quite potent. So they say that you get the same results with the advanced retinoids that you do with the retinol, but without the irritation. But for me, I notice almost an immediate difference in my skin after using retinol for 1 or 2 nights, and with the advanced retinoid, it takes a little bit longer. So I probably didn't notice a difference in my skin using this for about 3 or 4 weeks, as opposed to after a week or just even a couple of days of using a retinol, I immediately noticed like the cell turnover in my skin. Alpha Arbutin is, again, one of my favorite products. This is probably my 2nd or 3rd bottle of this. This is great if you do have hyperpigmentation. I find that it really does work, and it works quite well. It's not as fast acting as hydroquinone, which I have used previously from Obagi, but I also don't find it to be as irritating. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes hydroquinone can be really irritating on the skin. So that's why I switched to the Alpha Arbutin. So this is about $9 from The Ordinary. It really helps reducing the look of spots and blemishes. So whenever I get hyperpigmentation from a blemish, I will immediately start using this and integrating it into my skincare routine. And after about 3 weeks, I do notice a significant decrease in the pigmentation of any blemishes that I have. So again, it's not as fast acting as hydroquinone, but I do think that this is a little bit better for your skin. The Azelaic acid suspension is a product that I kind of picked up on a whim. I didn't really anticipate to like it, but I actually do quite like it. It's a really nice brightening cream. So the only thing I don't like about this is the formulation. So it's like a cream gel. It has almost like a silicone base. It feels a lot like the primers from The Ordinary. And the only thing about that is once you put this on your skin, you can't really put anything else over it. So usually I like to use products like this, like brightening products, early in my skincare routine, you know, after all of the water-based products, and then I like to put this over it. But then I like to use maybe an oil or a moisturizer afterwards to kind of seal everything in. And after putting a barrier of this on my skin, you know, it's hard to put anything over top because it just won't penetrate into the skin as well, because this is, again, has a very silicone texture. So I do quite like this in combination with the alpha arbutin. I think it works really well as a power duo to help brighten the skin and reduce the pigmentation of blemishes. But again, it's just the formulation that I kind of can't get on board with. I'll probably repurchase this and still have it in my skincare routine. But whenever I use this, I kind of have to change up the process of my skincare routine, because once I put this on, I can't really put anything else over it. But I do like it and it works well for me. It's really helped, like I said, with the alpha arbutin to diminish the appearance of blemishes on my skin and to really help brighten and even my texture. I love the Salicylic acid, not for blemishes, but for decongesting my skin. So I usually just use this kind of on my nose or in any areas where my skin feels just like clogged. That's the only reason I use this. I don't use this on any breakouts or anything like that. I find that benzoyl peroxide works better for me than salicylic acid. It's just kind of always been the case for some reason. But in terms of decongesting, this works really well, and this is something I would definitely repurchase. They have a bigger bottle of this now, so this is only 15 ml, so it's half a fluid ounce, but they do now have the 30 ml, which is probably what I will repurchase in the future. So this is a moisturizer that I love to use no matter whether it's summer, spring, fall, or winter. It's the Natural Moisturizing Factors with Hyaluronic Acid. So this is just a cream. It's a moisturizer. I actually, when I repurchased it, I picked it up in the jumbo size. So it comes in 30 ml tube, and then it also comes in 100 ml. So this is 100 ml, and it's only a couple dollars more than 30 ml. So I picked up the giant tube because I love it so much. So this is supposed to be chock full with amino acids and fatty acids and hyaluronic acid and ceramides. So now that we're entering the winter season, my skin definitely tends to lean more dry and dehydrated than combination. So I really like to use this just to soften the outer layer of my skin. It's non-greasy, it absorbs really quickly. I have two of the lactic acids from The Ordinary. So I have the 10% and also the 5%. And I really like lactic acid for that mild like exfoliation to your skin. So I only like to use these about once a week, usually on the weekend. No particular reason. I actually don't find them very irritating, but with all of the other products that I'm using, I just don't find that I need to use this on a daily basis. You can, because they're definitely gentle enough, but I personally don't need to, so I only use it as once a week as kind of a treatment more than like an everyday part of my skincare routine. So the next few products are either new products that I'm trying or products that I wouldn't necessarily repurchase again. So let's start with the EUK 134. So this is an antioxidant. So The Ordinary has brought out a few dedicated antioxidants into their skincare line, and I wanted to try one. I have never really tried a product like this before, but I wanted to see what it was like and what it would do. So as you guys know, antioxidants are great for your skin. They're great because they help kind of protect your skin and regenerate your skin from free radical damage. So the things you eat and the air that you breathe and just everything that's kind of happening in the environment. So again, this is a dedicated antioxidant, which I've never really used before, but I like it. It is in an oil, so I usually use this in the morning. It has like a very strange warming sensation. It's supposed to actually do that, but whenever I, rub it between my hands and I start applying it, patting it into my face, it has a very nice warming sensation, which feels quite nice. So again, this is a synthetic superoxide, and it's supposed to be really great for, reducing redness in your skin, which sometimes I do have, especially if I have had, breakouts on my skin. And then it also is supposed to restore, not really restore, but help with the UV damage that you might have in your skin. So I've been using this for probably 3 weeks now. I got it a little bit before my trip to Paris, and I've been using it daily. I even brought it on my trip, and I like it. It's a very simple product. I, haven't really noticed a huge significant difference in my skin, but it also hasn't made my skin worse. So I'm kind of just teetering to see whether or not I will repurchase it, but I do like it so far. I just haven't really noticed a dramatic difference in my skin. The hyaluronic acid from The Ordinary is a product I won't repurchase again, mainly because there's other hyaluronic acids that I prefer. I don't know, I just didn't really like the texture. I also didn't find it particularly more hydrating than some of the other hyaluronic acids that I have used. I prefer my hyaluronic acid to be in almost like a toning solution. I prefer it to be a little bit more liquid than a serum. So it's really just preference. It works well enough. I just don't really like the texture of it, so this is something I wouldn't repurchase. I also have a couple of oils from The Ordinary, so the Moroccan Argan oil and then also the Plant-Derived Squalane oil. They are 100% concentration, which is great. Of course, they are very naturally scented, so there's no fragrance in either of these. So I got the Moroccan Argan oil just to use in my hair, and I do like it. I only use it at night as kind of a treatment though, so I didn't really use it to like smooth out frizz in the morning after blow drying. I feel like it's too heavy for that. It will leave my hair feeling quite kind of greasy. And the Pure Squalane is again a really great humectant. It's one of those products that you can use after you've put all of your skincare on and just to kind of create a barrier and a seal for, you know, to lock it into your skin. So I do like this quite a bit. However, since I picked up the retinol with the Squalane, I just don't feel it necessary to top it with another, you know, Squalane oil. I feel like these two are a bit redundant in my skincare routine. However, when I feel like my skin is very dehydrated, whether it's, you know, it's too sensitive from using too much retinol, or I just feel like my skin really needs a little boost in hydration, I will skip a lot of the products in my typical skincare routine and just use a combination of the Squalane oil and then a really thick moisturizer. So either the natural moisturizing factors or the Embryolisse. But I really like to switch up my skincare regimen depending on, you know, what my skin is feeling that day. The last two skincare products that I have from The Ordinary before I move on to the colors range is the caffeine solution and then a vitamin C product, which I'm totally gonna butcher the name when we get to it. But the caffeine solution is of course for your under eye. So it's quite a generous bottle of, you know, under eye treatment. So it's a full fluid ounce. So I want to try this out because, you know, it's supposed to reduce the appearance of the eye contour pigmentation and puffiness. But what I realized after using this is that one, puffiness isn't really a concern of mine. I mean, sometimes if I had a really late night, my eyes do puff out, but they aren't always like that. What I'm more concerned about is hydration, because hydration is what, you know, kind of makes my under eyes like wrinkle up and shrivel up, and that's what I feel like really emphasizes my dark circles. So in terms of the eye contour pigmentation, I didn't really notice a difference in that after using it for probably the last 8 months. And also for puffiness, I haven't really noticed a difference in that either. So this is something that I would not repurchase, although I will be trying out the Hyaluronic Sub-Q Eyes, I think, which is a serum for the under eyes. I'll probably get along a little bit better with that. And then the vitamin C product that I have here is the Ascorbyl Tetraisopalmitate. Again, sorry, I totally butchered that. This is probably the most expensive product from The Ordinary line, if not one of the most expensive ones, about $17 or $18. And it's an oil, so it's a vitamin C oil. It's in like the UV packaging. So I do like this. It's kind of a dry oil, so it's not like the Squalane or the Moroccan Argan oil. It's quite a dry oil. It absorbs really quickly into the skin. It helps brighten the skin, but I just wouldn't repurchase it because this vitamin C contradicts some of the products that I am using in my skincare routine, and some of those products actually work much better on my skin than the vitamin C. So in that regard, I'll probably, you know, use this up and then I probably won't repurchase it. So before we conclude this video, I'll show you the products that I have from the colors range. So I've already done a review on both of the foundations from The Ordinary, so if you have not seen that yet, I will link it right here. But I have the Serum Foundation and also the Coverage Foundation. I like both of these equally. You know, I do find that the Coverage Foundation lasts a little bit longer on my skin tone, but if you're looking for like that no makeup look, the Serum Foundation is great also. The Serum Foundation is probably good if you have drier skin. The thing I love about these foundations in general is that they feel like skincare. They're so easy to apply, they don't cake up. I mean, if you apply too much, then yes, it will. But just generally speaking, they feel really nice on the skin. I'm wearing the Serum Foundation just kind of in the center of my face today. I really just use it kind of under my eyes as a concealer. And that's all I'm wearing as a base. So I really like just how versatile these products are. For the Serum Foundation, I did pick up the dropper that you can buy separately. Because this is such a fluid foundation, I just found the dropper to be a little bit easier in dispensing product. However, because this bottle is not really made for a dropper, it does not have a stopper. So it can be a little messy. So you just have to be mindful of that if you are going to switch to the dropper. I would definitely not recommend the dropper for the coverage foundation. It's just too thick for that. The pump definitely works better with the coverage foundation, but if you find that you are, pumping out too much product from the Serum Foundation, then I would consider picking up the dropper. It's like 90 cents. And then the last two products are the primers. So I have both primers here. I have the High-Adherence Silicone Primer. This is just a new tube of it because I'm currently using a primer from the Hyaluronic brand. But this is for, I think this is more for probably oily combination skin, whereas the High-Spreadability Fluid Primer is more for if you have, I guess, normal, maybe even dry skin. If you want more of a natural looking finish or a dewy finish, then go for this because it's a little bit more fluid in the texture. It feels a little bit like softer on the skin, as opposed to the High-Adherence Silicone Primer. It really like mattifies the skin as soon as you start applying it. I also find that this really helps the foundation adhere better to the skin, especially for me on my T-zones. Although for me, it's also probably seasonal, so I prefer the High-Adherence Silicone Primer in the spring and summertime when it's a little bit more humid. However, in the winter time when I want to look as dewy as possible because it's so dry out, I do prefer the High-Spreadability. So it's really just a preference. You really can't go wrong by getting either of them, and they're quite inexpensive. They're like $4 or $5 each, and they both work well, just differently. Okay, that concludes my ordinary video. So I talked about all the skincare stuff and then the color range. I am excited to try more products from The Ordinary. I've tried a lot of different products from the DCM brand as a whole, and I've been really happy with them. I really have to say that DCM is probably one of my favorite brands right now, and especially The Ordinary. I've always struggled with finding skincare products that work for me that don't have so many different things in them, bogging them down and irritating my skin. And I think having all of these serums with just the 1 or 2 active ingredients has kind of really changed my skincare routine. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!